I don't want to wade into your domestic politics, but looking at it from somebody on the other side of the Pacific who has been intimately involved and, in fact, triggered the whole process because we started the P4, the little FTA on which the TPP formed and which has become this important initiative. The economic arguments for the TPP in terms of trade, I think the President has presented them eloquently, what the benefits are to American companies. It's a deal which the countries have negotiated, each one providing market access on their side in return for gaining market access on the other side, each one committing to rules in exchange for the other side committing to rules. It's a hard-fought bargaining process. The negotiators spent many trips, many nights, many dawns, and fought it out. But actually, at the end of it, everybody must decide, is it a plus or minus for them? And I think, in your case, Mike Froman did a very good job as USTR. Our various trade representatives and negotiators did their best to make sure that they could bring back something which the political leaderships could stand by and support. And it's an achievement that all the members of the TPP at the end of this are still with us, and nobody has dropped out of this. So obviously there is something in it for each one of us. And I think we should also look at the other side of the economic benefit, which is not the producers. I'm exporting, therefore I'm earning a job. But also I'm spending, I'm consuming, I'm importing, and because it's freed up trade, I'm getting a wider range of products, of services, of opportunities, which will improve my livelihood. People talk about Walmart. The products come from all over Asia. Who benefits? Walmart. Many people in America, not just exporters, but even people living in the Rust Belt, people living in the Midwest. These are part of your everyday invisible standard of living, and yet it's real and is valuable. So in terms of the economic benefits, the TPP is a big deal. I think in terms of America's engagement of the region, you have put a reputation online. It is the big thing which America is doing in the Asia-Pacific with the Obama administration, consistently over many, many years of hard work and pushing. And your partners, your friends who have come to the table, who have negotiated, each one of them has overcome some domestic political objection, some sensitivity, some political cost to come to the table and make this deal. And if at the end, waiting at the altar, the bride doesn't arrive, I think there are people who are going to be very hurt, not just emotionally, but really damaged for a long time to come. Mr. Abe, for example, several of his predecessors thought seriously about and decided not to participate in the TPP. They came very close. They prepared the ground. They walked away. But Mr. Abe came through and decided to commit. Why? Because he wants to help. He wants his country to benefit and to open up its markets. And this is one way to do it. And you don't do this. Well, it hurts Mr. Abe is one thing, but it hurts your relationship with Japan, your security agreement with Japan, and the Japanese living in an uncertain world, depending on an American nuclear umbrella, will have to say, on trade, the Americans could not follow through. If it's life and death, whom do I have to depend upon? It's an absolutely serious calculation, which will not be said openly, but I have no doubts will be thought. I think if we go beyond that, I'd like to link up the TPP question with an earlier question from Nicholas, which is where do we go over the next 50 years? And that really depends whether we go towards interdependence and therefore peaceful cooperation, or whether we go for self-sufficiency, rivalry, and therefore a higher risk of conflict. Asia has tried both. The world has tried both. In the 1930s, with Smoot-Hawley, with the Depression, with a very difficult international environment. You went for protectionist policies. You had a rivalry with Japan, which led to war. After the war, because America was open, because you promoted trade, because you encouraged investments and encouraged other countries to open up. Therefore, the Asia-Pacific has been peaceful and the Pax Americana has been a pax and not a war. If over the next 50 years you continue to work towards interdependence and cooperation and mutual prosperity, then 50 years from now we can say these have been peaceful years and we have made further progress together. But if you go in the opposite direction and you decide that this is a big Pacific but it's big enough to split it down the middle, and one chunk is mine and the other chunk belongs to some of the Asians, China or India or Japan, I think that's a very different world. One of the reasons why you have a manageable relationship with China now is because you have trade with them. It's enormous, it's mutually beneficial. Both sides want to maintain that relationship. If you didn't, it would be like the Soviet Union during the Cold War, when you had negligible trade and, well, you still had to find ways to work together, but it's much harder. Now, the TPP doesn't include China, although some people think it does, but the TPP points the direction towards the world, towards your whole orientation of your society. And if you set the wrong direction, maybe in the next 50 years, sometime you will turn around, but it will cost you many years and the world will have to pay quite a high price.